Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about My Bias Gets on the Last Train, one of my favorite manhwas of all time. To be honest, we do a ton of anime content here. It's a lot of fun. We love talking about it. We love sharing the sauce with you guys. But we've also been getting into a lot of manga and manhwa because I have kind of been making my way over there. I have been shown the light. Now, there's so many amazing ones that we have talked about and are going to be talking about, but this is the first time where we are revisiting a manhwa. We brought up, My Bias Gets on Train and that everyone should read it because it is so good when there's only 23 chapters out. We are now at 51. Well, honestly, we like to revisit every video we've made because, all those manhwas are amazing, but the reason why we're revisiting this one is because, honestly, they have been ramping up the chapters. They've been, posting a lot. They're getting really, really popular, and also their music is real. If you did not know, Long Afternoon is on Spotify, on YouTube, on Apple Music, and the music is honestly pretty fucking good. It's not for everybody, of course, it depends on your taste, but you should actually check it out, especially if you're a huge fan of this manhwa. I personally love it, and I feel like it fits the exact vibe that we have been kind of portrayed this entire time. Now, I think that this anime is, I think this manhwa is getting an anime, which is why we wanted to revisit and talk about it because it's fucking phenomenal. And if it drops in anime, it's going to be Romance Anime of the Year and probably Anime of the Year. Might be a little
Easy.
biased there, but in my opinion, so honestly, let's
Well
go.
done.
Thank you. Let's go and let's revisit and kind of talk about the past 25 plus chapters since our last video. One thing I said that I absolutely loved in the last video was the whole incident, you know what I mean, where she sees him with his coworker and he sees her with her uncle, and they both give that exchange of looks, and you're like, what is that about? What is that about? It was resolved in what, 3 chapters, and I talked about how they have to be a huge fan of like romance mangas, manhwas, animes, the genre, because that is one of the most frustrating things when it just lingers on and it's just like it's prolonged and it's like, dude, this is so obnoxious. This was resolved instantly. It was like, oh my god, and it felt so good. One thing that kind of just happened was the thing with his boss. It happened again, and it was done in such a nice way where he's out drinking with his boss, who, by the way, is the goat, amazing, phenomenal. I would love to have a boss like that. They're out drinking, and of course, like, who is it? Her uncle walks in and is like, "Yo, what's up with this motherfucker?" And of course, I love how he like is cool enough with him, where he's like, "Yo, I for sure go up and say something," but also just like caring, you know what I mean? Where he's like, "Yo, that's not okay. Let's go get to the bottom of this." Because I thought he'd walk out and then be like, "Hey, by the way, your dude was with somebody at the bar," and it'd be like, "Oh, bro, like, come on." But the fact he's like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna go say something," and then it ended up being a huge misunderstanding, resolved literally in that chapter, and then led to one of like the funniest, greatest moments where they all ended up going back to his place. All of them were bombed, and they all woke up in the same bed together. And then Hyun's there, just like, "Uncle?" And then it was our boy, and she's like, "The fuck are you doing at my uncle's place?" And it's like, "He's in the bed." It's like,
He's
wait,
got company. He's got company.
wait, what? So dude, it's one of the things I just absolutely love about this manhwa. It's so good. It takes everything that's in a romance and it does it perfectly. And that was just like one of the examples that just happened where I'm like, yeah, this is why I fucking adore this. But what have you been thinking in the past several chapters?
I think it's kind of like deepened and really like taken
Yes.
roots. Like this is a really solid
Mm-hmm.
romance. It's a little bit more mature than I think maybe what you think of it with like your typical anime
Mm-hmm.
romance, right? Like you're going through, young people's lives. Woo, the MC, he's dealing with like his ex coming back into his life, somebody he had like really strong feelings for. She hurt him. So he's kind of going through that. Very relatable. I'm sure at some point we've all kind of felt like that.
Yeah.
But then also like the relationship with Hyene, the female MC, and like kind of navigating all those feelings. But it's not like tropey or something I've seen. It's very like mature and down to earth. Like somebody who rides the train to and from work every day. Like, there's always a cutie on the same loop as you. So like, I don't know, like I identify with that stuff, but it's really cool. And like, you brought up a really great point. Like the uncle walks in, and I totally had the same expectation as you. It's like, yo, who's like cheating on
No.
my niece? Like, who's this girl that he's with? And like they're at a bar. Yang Wu's clearly had a lot to drink. They do a good job of giving you the rosy face
Yeah.
in the manhwa, but like the way they handle it is like kind of different, but very mature. Like in the sense that he sits down with while she's in the bathroom, he sits down with Yang Wu and he's like, yo, like, aren't you interested in my niece? Like, what's going on here? You cheating? You playing the field? And he was like, no, no, like definitely not. And then she comes back, she's like, yeah, I'm his fucking boss. Like, lay off. And it's like a big misunderstanding. They end up drinking together, having a great time. maybe too good of a time because they all end up, back at his place in the bed.
Yeah.
But like their interactions are still really wholesome. It's not like overly fan servicey or horny in the sense that like, she like the boss is clearly into him. You know what I mean? He takes down his hair and she's like, oh wow, you look young for your age. It's like, all right, whoa, whoa. She's putting the moves on.
Mhm.
But like it's really cool. Like even the boss, she was like, who, to your point, is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a boss like Yan Wu's. She's like, yeah, the owner of the place should not be sleeping on the floor. Like, get in bed. Very smooth line, by the
And then
way.
just like mauls him in.
He
Like
like tries to like lay on the very edge of the bed, and she's like, yeah, nope. But it was like a really cool scene. They wake up the next morning, they're like laying together, and then Hein walks in, and she's like, yo, what the fuck is this? And he was like, like the explanation of like a super awkward moment. It doesn't like go too far, like get, kind of like blown out of proportion, which I think is cool. It's like feels mature in that sense.
mhm.
But to another one of your points, like the music being on YouTube and being like a very
Yeah.
major focal point, even in these last 20 plus chapters, I think is awesome because it doesn't just focus on the romance. It really does also focus on Hein's kind of like music situation and career, if you will, but also Yan Wu is like her fan and unknowingly being her fan. He's just a huge fan of the band and like is constantly like, I was gonna say glazing, but that's not really the word. Like, he really likes the music and stuff. And he'll like compliment it, be like, oh, I saw her new Instagram post, na na na. So it's like really rewarding for Hein to have that without him knowing who it is. And like that dynamic is really cool, but it's definitely deepened. Well, yeah, after the last chapter, it's definitely deepened and
Oh yeah.
gotten more serious romantically
Mhm.
between them, which I think, yeah, is a very cool point. We didn't have to wait years and years, a la Rent a Girlfriend to get like some major triggered to get some major progress in the actual story and in the romance. Like it's moving very well, it's paced very well, and I think manhwa's a little different than manga. Like 51 chapters really isn't a ton. It's not like a minuscule amount, but we've gotten a lot of really good story, well paced through 51 chapters. And it's really cool coming back to kind of like revisit this and see kind of like how far we've come in the story and like what we feel about it now. Just top tier. Definitely one of my favorite manhwas. I think the author is amazing, a really good storyteller, and just kind of hits all the points without overdoing any of it.
Before we get into like the relationship, like the depth of it, that is one thing that I thought was very, very cool. Is that like, yeah, I didn't think about it until now because it's been done so well. But like a lot of these, stories, let's say, always have like the side couples. You know what I mean? And this one never had that. And then you see the
Very good
boss
point.
and her uncle, and it fits. And you're like, it came out of nowhere. Like, there's no hint about it. There's no like foreshadowing. It was just straight up, and it was just like, wait, like I actually fuck with this. I actually really like them as like a couple. Like, I hope it like becomes more. And that was cool when she kind of came in. She was like, hey, like go take her out for like a hangover cure. Because I'm taking this guy to fucking get ramen. It was like, first of all, bet. But like,
Yeah.
second of all, it was like yes, like encourage that because like that I didn't realize it was missing until it was like shown to us, and I was like, that's fucking genius. It was done amazing, and I cannot wait to see those two interact a lot more. Also, his coworker's gonna be hella jealous because not only did she lose him,
Oh,
yeah, but if
I forgot about the coworker, bro.
bro, if she finds out that like both him and the boss are like seeing people and like they're like related and shit, she's gonna be like, yo, I'm left the fuck out. I'm fifth wheeling. Like that's fucking crazy.
And Yan Wu's ex-girlfriend is like a frequent customer of the coffee shop too, and like she's picked up on that. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's got to think he's a player. You know what I mean? To
Disaster,
some
bro.
degree, but
It's a disaster.
like the way the author has built
Mm-hmm.
that dynamic, like you said, very like natural and not forced at all. Like you got like a dude who owns a music studio going to a bar he goes to all the time, and like you got the divorced single boss. Like they hit it off, they get drunk. It's like very natural. Like, and you're right. Like I didn't feel like I was missing those side couples or like other people, but then when you bring it in, it's like, oh man, that was well done and
Yeah.
like very much like a good addition to an already awesome story.
And it's just yeah, like you said, it's just done very well. Like one thing that I think is like very cool and that like is about to become amazing is that we got her backstory right about how she kind of views her music in general, and then the people around her, right? Obviously, you can see a lot of the stuff that went wrong in like her childhood that made her kind of how she is now, and it explains a whole lot. Now we're getting really into his backstory, and then he got the complications of like, oh shit, I kind of like both, but again, it wasn't annoying because it wasn't dragged on and it wasn't like muddy. It was like relatable, you know what I mean? Where like she broke his heart, she's kind of back now, and he kind of remembers those good times. But instead of like indulging in that, You know what I mean? Where
Mm.
like it would be annoying, and then the hiccups where she sees him and her, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And it's like, "Oh my god, this is just a fucking mess. I'm anxious. Just please stop." It's like he's like, "No, you know what? This reassures his feelings," and he's like, "Let's go out." You know what I mean? And it kind of led up to that moment. But one thing that it teased at finally is that we kind of got his feelings, kind of got his backstory. It brought him back up to present day with this relationship. Same thing with her, right? He brought up that he's like you know what? Listening to her music, I always thought that this sounded like her, like similar, like they kind of sounded similar. But like
Oh yeah.
this sounds like her voice. Like he's starting to pick up on it. And that's gonna be really interesting because it's like what happens, like she in her head she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the one that tells him, and she's like readying herself and kind of deciding the right moment, but that might be taken from her. Where he's just like, hey, I might sound kind of crazy. Are you long afternoon? You know what I mean? Like, I think he's gonna figure it out, and like that confrontation is gonna be fucking phenomenal. It's gonna be so cool, especially because her music sides are really developing. That one guy who's like in a band, but like is a producer now, is like kind of putting them on to like, hey, you should go to this, this festival. You should, make a music video. You should do like all this. So it seems like her music career is about to fucking boom, and then he's about to find out, and now they're together. So everything's like coming together and also just beginning at the same time. Yeah, just oh yes. And you know what? I really, really hope that they do like officially get together and stay together, and this becomes kind of a slice of life as them dating. Because I'm a slut for it. I'm gonna be honest. Like when you have an anime like
Yeah.
Horimiya, where it's like they get together and then the anime is like the relationship. That's fucking dope because sometimes it's annoying when you have 4 seasons of a fucking absolute roller coaster that's a disaster and obnoxious, and then they finally get together and like, all right, bet finally, and then it's like, all right, by the way, like it's over. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the. It's like wait,
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
they just got together. What do you mean it's over? So I always love when they kind of have like the build up, end up in the relationship, but then also continue. Because there's a lot of like obstacles, a lot of plot lines, and a lot of like really good storytelling in the relationship, especially when you have someone who's like about to become an absolute rock star, but then also our boy's about to get a job. You know what I mean? So like, what is that going to entail? So I feel like I'm really really excited for the next 50 chapters. I cannot wait to see what's in store. So far, it's been done like the story's been told beautifully. It's masterfully. It's absolutely insane. Like genuinely, like it deserves all of the popularity it's getting.
I definitely think it'll get an anime, and I
Mm-hmm.
completely agree with you. Like, I would give it a 10 out of 10.
Yep.
I know I'm not like the most critical, but I think as far as pacing, storytelling, the characters, the art, everything is just perfect. It doesn't do too much. It doesn't try to be anything other than what this story is.
Mm-hmm.
And you make a really good point too. Like the way Yang deals with his feelings, goes out, drinks with the boss, kind of like talks about how he feels. He doesn't indulge in those feelings. He's just like, I really liked her. She hurt me. We had great times. Like we'd watch movies together. Like I enjoyed that, but I'm past that. And like he doesn't really ever cave on that. And it's like cool because it would be so easy to just write that, maybe like start seeing the ex-girlfriend and hanging out with her.
Gets
Um,
caught. You know what I mean? She ends up seeing them passing by or something. She can have that situation all over again.
Yeah, and another point you made, like her music career is really taken off, and that's definitely like a keystone in the story,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Long Afternoon and how she will basically, yeah, admit that that's who she is, or like give her identity to Yan Wu, who's already pretty much figured it out. And like I would say from the last video till now, like they've really started talking more. She makes a comment about how he doesn't say good night, like he stopped saying good night or whatever, and she's like, "What? Too good for fucking a good night text?" And like they're sending pictures to each other, and like it's a really cute budding romance, but at the same time, like she's got to navigate her career and like her
Mm-hmm.
music. And you're totally right. Like she's playing festivals. Her music video was a big hit. Like basically, it's writing or like leading up the way it's written for her to take off and be like, yeah, rock star. Yang Wu had some rough interviews. It's taken a toll on him. He's super tired. He's like studying and trying to like get a good job, which I think everybody can relate to. You know what I mean? The MC is a very relatable dude, just fresh out of college or whatever. They're like, yeah, maybe he gets a really good job. She takes off. Now it's navigating that romance within the confines of like everyday life and, scheduling conflicts and stuff. And maybe they're not taking the same train every night to go home and
Yeah.
they're not seeing each other as much. But again, to your point, like that's what makes a really good romance anime so awesome. The relationship and the confession is not the end goal.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see what happens after that and how they like grow together. And Yanwoo's been super supportive of her the whole way, even though he doesn't know that's who she is.
Oh my
Kind of has
god,
an
yeah.
idea by now. But like, and for her, it's just like the most genuine form of support and affection. Obviously, she likes it, but like, I think it'll be easier for her to like be like, yeah, I'm long afternoon. I really like you. Nah, nah, nah. Whatever that confession looks like, it's definitely coming soon. She knows that his feelings are genuine and
Mhm.
it's not performative in any way. Like, he really likes her and he likes long afternoon, even though he doesn't know, which basically sets up for like a perfect situation for her.
And you know too, she's gonna be like super successful. It seems like the music's amazing. She's got the look. She's got like the attitude. Like even everyone kind of like around her, like in the industry that's like established, is like, yo, we got to get them like on stage. Like they're legit. You know what I mean? So if he plays his cards right, I mean, you don't need a job, brother. You can be a trophy husband. I'm just fucking saying, like.
The dream, Yanwu. It's the dream. Date a rock star, date an idol, bro. Come on.
Bro, but
Do it for all of us.
that's the thing though. That's like stressing me out. I just watched Nana. Let me know in the comments down below if you have seen Nana. Fucking amazing, but has to do a lot with music and someone making it big. They make it big, and that pile of shit just bam hits the fan, and it's a fucking disaster. Honestly, really, really good. It's only like 50 some episodes. You guys should like check it out if you haven't seen it. But like after watching that and seeing like how disastrous it gets when that person finally makes it in the music industry, it's like, oh, I wish her the best of luck. I hope it goes well. I trust the author. We trust the author. At this point, I trust the author for my life. I mean, like, you bet the house on them, and you're gonna be a millionaire. Like it's
Oh yeah.
insane how many times they've been put in a position where it's like this can go bad, and the author dominated and just absolutely perfectly executed. So I am stoked for it. It's gonna be really cool. But you know what I think is like really, 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 really cool. I don't know if it's just me. Let me know if you agree. I actually like the blonde girl, the ex. I feel like knowing her backstory made her likable.
You're definitely right. Like her backstory makes her more relatable. And one aspect I love about My Bias Gets on the Last Train is as soon as she was introduced in like the late 20s, early 30s chapters,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's like, yo, fuck this chick. She's getting in the way of the budding romance between our MCs. Like, we can't stand her. And like every time the comments would be just like so locked in, everyone's like unified against her. And then she like kind of admits her feelings and like she was like, I was a little immature and like unsure about stuff and didn't want to get hurt. Nah, nah, nah. Everyone's like, maybe we were a little too harsh at first. She's really not a bad person. And she really does like Yang Wu, even though she's a little older and kind of treated him. I wouldn't say she treated him like shit,
She
but
was
like
going through
that's
stuff, you know what I mean? She just didn't mean it. It wasn't intentional. She didn't mean to like hurt him. It just was unfortunate the way
right.
it played out. And then she admits it, apologizes, and kind of like sets things straight. And we can see her growing arc of like the mom being like, "Hey, like stop visiting." You know what I mean? Like we're moving, we're bringing, the body, we're bringing the person with us who's passed. Like you got to move on. You know what I mean? And then we see her kind of grow from that and be like, all right, it's time. And then she goes and is like apologizing, like, hey, I know I kind of fucked things up, but like, I'm willing to try. You know what I mean? So like, you kind of appreciate that, like you respect it at least, you know?
Yeah, and like you don't get that for quite a while,
Mm-hmm.
basically up until like yeah, where we're at, not the last chapter, but very recently. And like the pacing of it. You know what I mean? She kind of comes in as this villain bitch ex-girlfriend and then it was like, damn, like she's really not that bad at all. She was going through some shit, which like is so real and like down to earth. Like people are going through stuff. You got, work, family, whatever's going on. And like it's tough, you know what I mean? That's what makes relationships challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, damn, yeah, that's like mad relatable. She's not wrong at all. Like, and she even grows from it, like you said. That scene was really cool, I thought too, to like give depth to not a background character, but like, part of the cast and like
Yeah.
bring her up to speed. And it's like, she's growing. She's trying to kind of like apologize and right a wrong with Yan Wu, who she clearly knows was like very hurt by this.
Mm-hmm.
And like from the few times well, more than a few, that they bumped into each other, like it's kind of cool to see like that dynamic. I won't call it a relationship, but that dynamic like mature and like, right their wrongs and like I feel like they feel better about it now, even though there's still like romantic feelings involved. It's not like forceful or like she's really playing a villain role, which again just kind of like attests to the author's ability to like really draw these characters out and they're not always what you think in the beginning.
Well, that's what's funny because when she was first introduced, and we kind of got the idea that she's the ex, she's back, gonna complicate things. The comments were just straight up like, kill her now, get her off, truck her, we summon Nai, like take her out.
So true.
Bro, I swear to God, people in the comments were genuinely like doing rituals trying to get Truck-kun to take her out. It was fucking hysterical. Now we've come a long way, boys. We've come a long way. But I don't know. I think it was just really well done. I think that this manhwa is phenomenal. It really is like the perfect romance manhwa, and then you add music into it, and that seems amazing as well. Honestly, I have no doubts, no worries, no concerns moving on to the future. Whatever they do, it is going to be nothing but exceptional. The thing I do worry about, really, really worry about, is animation quality. That some studio's gonna pick it up and just absolutely destroy it. So hopefully, they do a great job. Hopefully, it lives up to the manga. You know, we see mangas like Demon Slayer. Not only is the animation phenomenal, but look at the artwork. The artwork's kind of rough. And sometimes when people say it's carried by animation, it's because the animation is so much better than the original work. You see something like Solo Leveling, really popping off because of the way it's animated. Can we do that with My Biceps and Last Strand? I know it's not shonen or action, but like, can we pour a disgusting amount of money into the animation and just have it kind of be carried by that? That'd be cool. It'd be cool to see that succeed. But is there anything you want to say about it? Like, I feel like, that's it. Chapter 51, we just got the confession. Seems like it might go a bit further. They keep kind of teasing that, kind of hinting that. And she's like, yo, what are you going to do right now? And bro's got ideas. I don't know if you guys remember the flashback of him, dreaming about something and gripping the bed sheets. But he's got ideas of what he might want to do. So,
Oh, it's happening. It's happening soon. My man dropped a fire confession and laid a kiss. He'll be gripping, well, maybe not him, but her. She'll be gripping the sheets soon. Hold on, let me take that back. Sorry,
so
y'all.
it's so bad, bro. It's so bad. But honestly, at this point, I kind of think the manga was gonna go in some direction like that. Like you said, it seems like a more mature story than you'd expect. They are in college or graduating college. It is deeper when it comes to their backstories and the depth of the relationship and kind of overcoming personal things to then reflect into the relationship. So I actually do love that. I think it's nice, it's relatable, and it's something that is a bit more serious but still very fun and enjoyable. You know what I mean? It's not so lighthearted. So I think it'll absolutely kill it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know what you are thinking of these past 51 chapters. 51 chapters have gone by so unbelievably fast. We hope you guys are loving it. It is one of the best mangas out there. But that is it, guys. Let's hope for an anime. Let's hope we can do the anime justice. And later, guys. Peace.